My name's Fiona Booy and I'm from Make-at-Home Pottery. This video is part of the Christmas series, you might have guessed, and between us we're going to make some really awesome Christmas gifts, Christmas decorations and winter activities. And we're going to make them out of clay and you are going to make them at home. Today's project is all about Christmas trees and Christmas presents. So what we're going to make from clay is a whole bunch of Christmas decorations to go on the tree and name tags. These are all going to be personalised by you. You might want to write on it and send it to your grandparents, your aunties, your uncles, your neighbours. You might want to put them on their trees or to go on their presents. So on this video, I'm going to show you firstly the basics, and then I'm going to run through some variations that you might like. Then you're going to get all imaginative and creative and come up with lots of great ideas of your own and get making. Right, so for this project, you're going to need, as always, your ball of clay. You're going to need your paintbrush, your pointy stick and your water. Particularly important is your mat this time. It's really good for rolling out, and you will need a rolling pin. The next things you're going to need are templates. So you can go to my website and download, I've got a number of templates on the website that you can cut out. If you're going to make lots of them, cut them out and put them onto some cardboard. Or you can go into the kitchen and see what you can find in the way of cookie cutters. Other things that might help you on this project, material, not necessarily your mum's curtains, but if you've got some nice materials, fabrics, these will be really good to give a nice pattern. And if you have, either from Play-Doh or from some stamping things, some nice letters here, so you can actually type in people's names and secret messages to them. So you've got your ball of clay, and you should be able to make everything you need to from this ball of clay. So what you might want to do is start off by writing down a list of all the people that you're going to make this for. What I would think of doing is the big ones are for your personalised Christmas tree decorations, and the little ones are going to be for the Christmas presents. So these ones will be the name tag, Dear Granny, Love Simon. And this one over here is going to be Dear Aunt Jennifer, Missing You. Right, so what you're going to do, always to break up the clay, you're going to twist it, and you're going to twist it. So you've got here a nice little bit. You want to roll a little bit of a sausage to start with, and you've got your rolling pin, and you're going to roll it out. Then you're going to pick it up, and you're going to turn it 90 degrees, and you're going to roll it again. So what you're trying to do is get this size of piece. So once you've got this, you might want to then smooth in your fabric and do it one last time. You don't want it to be too thin because they will crack and break. So err on the thicker side, and you can then pull it off like that. Okay? You then get your shape and you can press it in. You need to press it down quite firmly, and then you can use your pointy stick to break away the clay. This is also where you need your mat so that you can actually pull it off like that. You can see it's a star, and you can pull little bits off. So one last thing that you want to do is to make a little hole, because they're not going to hang up on the tree very well unless they have a little hole. So you can make a hole in it like that. Okay, and then you can gently press it out with your fingers. And I'm pressing it quite gently. And it's coming out. All right. It's looking a little bit like a starfish at the moment, so I will press it down. So I'm going to turn it over now. You might want to put it back on its fabric. And I'm going to press it down, and I'm going to get out my letter set, and this is where I'm going to put on the secret message. The next one I'm going to make is a snowman. So I've got a simple template here. So first of all, you've rolled out your clay, you've cut out your form. The next thing you want to do is also cut out 2 hat pieces and roll out 2 sausages as the brim of the hat. Then I've rolled in some texture from some material fabric for the scarf. And before you turn it over onto the front, you'll need to do your messages onto the back. Then you need to use your pointy stick to do the cross hatching and your water, and then firmly place the 2 hat pieces to each other and the scarf on. Next, add the brim of the hat to the front and to the back. Then finishing them off with eyes, nose, buttons and a hole for the string. So for the robin, you will need to cut out a circle from a pastry cutter, and then you will need 2 teardrop shapes. One larger, one smaller. The larger one's for the body, and you'll see that I've textured it, and the smaller one for the wing, which is plain. Then you need to cross hatch, add water, and stick them on nice and firmly. So over here we've got flat 2D decorations, and over here is a nifty 3D.
Ooh, that looks very interesting. What are you doing? What a pretty pattern.
Yeah, so this one I've actually got a pattern on both sides, and I'm going to cut out a double shape and then cut them in half and stick them on. So you can see I've got the 2 pieces there and one I've cut in half. And then I'll let these bits dry for a bit because they need to be a bit more firm. Right, so these guys now are a little bit harder, and what we need to do is cross hatch them and stick them on. Dab on the water and we stick it on, and we push it in really firmly down with our hands. Okay. And some extra little precaution, you need to get a little bit of clay and get a long thin sausage and run that down both sides. You want to do this before you turn it over. 2 sausages, 1 for each side, and again you need to cross hatch here before you put it on. You really want to roughen it up, and you can pop it in the water and attach it. So you can either use your finger to smoothen it down, or the back end of your paintbrush, or I rather like using chopsticks. So here you see I have smoothened it down. Now we've got to the other side. And now that I have this, we need to make the little hole in the top. Pointy stick needs to be far enough down and pushing it through. I find it easier to go crossways from one side to the other. See, I'm pushing it in. When you're happy with it, go put it back on the radiator or somewhere to dry, and then we'll get on to paint. So for air drying clay, because it doesn't need to go in the kiln, you can add all kinds of exciting things. I've used plastic beads, sequins and some fabric. Many of these you can just press into the clay and they will stick. Other bits you might want to glue on. Here I've used a mix of acrylic paints and PVA glue. And don't forget to do any messages on the other side if you fancy.
Can you guess what time it is? Because it's joke time.
What's an elf's favourite type of music? I don't know, elf music? There's no such thing as elf music. No, it's rap music. I don't get it. You know, because they wrap presents. Oh,